Well, check this out. By the time you hear this, we have officially hit the second quarter of 2025.
Dang, is it Q2 already?
Yeah, child, it's April.
I forget. I
Hey,
forget.
it's Michael with
Tatiana.
Miss Parker. How you feeling?
Oh, I'm good. Life is life. And
Some bitch be rolling,
yeah,
don't it?
life is life.
But
But
hey,
that just means you're living.
Dash motherfucker. We're gonna keep talking about that Dash. But hey, appreciate y'all tuning in for another Watch for the Hook Wednesdays on the Watch for Hook Business and Entrepreneur Podcast. The podcast for small business owners. I had to make sure I put that new extra on the end
I
of it
like
now.
that.
But hey, like I said, we appreciate y'all. And always you come by www.watchforward.com. Check out our latest apparel. So right now we are going to jump into today's topic. And today's topic is going to talk about, we just now, by the time you hear this, we've cleared quarter one
Yeah.
for
Q1.
Q1 for
In the book.
2025.
Yeah.
Small business owners are feeling the pain.
Yeah.
They got some angst.
Yeah. Rightfully so. Rightfully so.
Yeah, because it's fucked up, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot.
Eggs is $27,000 a egg.
Now listen, let me tell you something. Big Pharma gonna get mad because ain't nobody eating no eggs, which means ain't nobody having no cholesterol issues, which means ain't nobody on no statins or statin usage has been decreased, right?
What my wife just told y'all was motherfuckers done had to check their diet.
Yeah.
They had to check the way they eat because inflation done a lot.
Yeah. Inflation got people healthier.
Hey, listen, a lot of folks don't understand. You can't get what you cannot afford.
You sure right about that? And right now you can't afford the cost of high cholesterol.
That's some bullshit. Your cholesterol dipping because your pocket's fucked up.
Yeah. Which means if statin usage is decreasing, right? That means Big Pharma is seeing probably less of a profit, right, on their drugs, right? Which means probably by Q3, July, you're gonna get that notification from your insurance that another maintenance drug of yours is now no longer covered. So they're finna switch you to probably a different brand or an off brand, and it might increase your copay. Just saying. Just saying the world I live in.
Oh, listen, hey,
Just saying.
listen, she deals in big pharma world and
Just saying.
all that great gravy. And this is the thing.
They're gonna get their money some way.
Yeah, this is how capitalism works. When they close one door, they will find a way to open a fucking window.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was just Jesus. No, capitalism works the same way.
Yeah.
Because now the door closed about you eating high ass eggs.
Yeah.
So now they got to figure out another way to get their money out of you. So they going to stop covering something to help you. Because there is no money to be made in curing you.
No, we just need maintenance.
Yeah.
We just need maintenance.
We just need to maintain.
Yeah.
People make money off living folks. Not
Yeah.
off them folk they gone. You got to listen. I got to string you along. Listen, y'all think dating was bad? Wait till you get on some damn help drugs. When you help drugs, so that's all it is help drugs.
A maintenance drug is a help drug.
You alone.
It's true.
I mean, listen, that is not a fact. That's not a bad term.
Yeah. It's
Drugs, they help keep you living,
They do.
but they not helping you get better.
Well,
It's maintaining.
so yeah, so they really are supposed to help keep you from getting worse, right?
Yes.
Right. That's your help drug and everything.
Helping you along the way.
Gotcha. So, but listen, let me check this out. What I'll be interested to see is if there will be a decline, right, in statin usage or high cholesterol cases, right?
Mhm.
Right? A decline in it. Does that mean there's going to be an increase in like diabetes or blood pressure?
So
Because you're not eating eggs, right? Just not eating eggs for 2 months isn't gonna it's in no shape, form, or fashion gonna make you no longer have to, be on a statin, right? Okay, like that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you see the pendulum swing one way, What's the reverse effect the other way?
So what Miss Parker is talking about in her world is that you missing out on eggs is gonna help you get healthier
In one
on one
aspect,
aspects.
it's
But
gonna
then
force you
and then another aspect, something else gonna go bad. That's kind of how it works.
because of the swing. So, like,
Yeah.
did you start eating, less eggs, but now you're filling it up with more carbs, which that turn,
What is the cheapest thing you can buy?
carbs. Yeah, carbs, because eggs is your protein.
Yeah.
So
So
carbs. So, are you gonna consume more bread, which now breaks down into sugar, right?
yes, which flares up your diabetes.
Right. Make the
And
blood
I know
sugar.
y'all sent
Got
that.
the blood sugar.
And I know y'all like, man, they a business podcast talking about health.
I know, right? We went
Yeah.
into the deep end.
But what y'all gotta understand is health is a business.
It is.
Healthcare is a business.
The maintenance equates to money.
Healthcare is the biggest business damn near out there. She
Yep.
talking about big pharma. Big pharma make billions upon billions of dollars every year just maintaining society.
Yeah.
It's
Society.
society
Society.
because they want you to be social. You know what? You know how society works. No ass moving around, no ass going places. When people didn't realize, man, the world was easy when we was under the COVID restrictions. No, that's just because y'all didn't like each other,
Right.
which now still a problem we having. But people think, man, life was cheaper when we was under COVID. You know why? Because they were trying to get your ass back out the house.
Right. Right.
So they had to give you incentives to get out the house.
Come on.
Now, the incentives is over with. Ass back outside, as some of y'all say. Now you're back outside, big back and all the other stuff. Now we are here, we in the quarter two, going in the quarter two of the 2025, and small business owners are feeling the pinch of the repercussions from what happened in 2024.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
now what happened in 2024? You put a tyrant in office.
Orange tire.
That you got this orange tyrant. This person has let our economy go to shambles because it is not working correctly.
Mm-mm.
You cannot have an economy that is downtrodden, forced to pick up some pieces that you laid down that they didn't want. One of the biggest pieces that we are picking up that they are laying down is inflation.
Right. Absolutely.
You cannot have your economy being put down because you don't know what to do to fix it. So now we are at the point we're looking at, we're in month number 4. The first 3 months didn't turn out so well.
Right. They've been interesting.
Now we like, shit, okay, number 4 didn't work. Number 3 did the first 3 months didn't work.
Right.
What do I do with the 4th month? How do I fix the first 3?
Get creative.
Exactly. And you can't go back and take the first 3 out.
No, you can't.
Now you have to understand, what do I do going forward? Fourth month, 5th month, and 6th month. That's your second quarter.
Plan and strategize.
Now we can fix it. For small business owners, that's not so easy.
No, it's not. And usually that requires resources. A lot of resources that you typically don't have.
You know the main resource they cut out in month 1, 2, and 3? Access to capital.
Oh yeah, I was about to say. I mean, just being able to access it. That was
So
it right there.
if you
They
already
came out the I'm sorry, I just cut you off. They jumped the gate with that.
and with one,
They jumped the gate. And that started with DEI. I mean, am I misspeaking?
listen, people think that DEI still is like some form of backhanded help for regular folks. It's actually not.
No, it's
The term equity, it's even I ain't gonna we ain't gonna we can go past the D. Equity means everybody gets a share,
yeah,
piece of
yeah,
the pie.
yeah.
So even if you want to jump by diversity, 'cause some of y'all folks don't even know what diversity means. Diversity ain't about skin color
No.
most of the time. It's about who needs help the most.
Right.
It's not just on race. It's about other things. Diversity is about where you live, where you stay, even where you come from,
Where you work.
where you work.
Literally, where you are. If you, like a lot of us, if you looking at a Teams meeting, right, and everybody got the cameras on, or they have their avatars up there, you see those faces pop
Hmm.
up, whether it's the avatar or the actual person. That's diversity.
Talked about before being in the right
Do
building,
you
but
see yourself?
being in the wrong one. You know what diversity helps you with? Making sure that the people in the room comfortable.
Yeah,
You know what happens when people are comfortable? They talk.
they do. They
They
feel
come.
included.
They come to conclusions.
Yeah, yeah,
They solve fucking
right.
problems. If everybody look, talk, and act the same, ain't shit gonna get
Nope.
accomplished. Probably for a small few, but the world ain't a small few. No. There's over 6 billion people, which means there are over 6 billion ways of thinking.
It is absolutely. There
So
are 6 billion alternatives. There are 6 billion options. There are 6 billion scenarios.
yes, and if you're a Marvel head like me, you actually live in the multiverse of madness. You know what that means? Just because you think like somebody don't mean y'all get along. Because when y'all start sitting down talking to each other, you be like, this motherfucker crazy.
Yeah, and sometimes you just have to, be okay with understanding that there is no actual right or actual wrong.
Business owners, you know what their actual concerns is? How can I stay in fucking business?
And what you really wish, you didn't have to be concerned about was where them dollars at.
Because if you are for profit, which everybody that's in business, most of you are, profit keeps you in
It
business.
does.
If you ain't making no money, you're not gonna stay in business
No.
long.
Even, and this is a topic I need to do more research on, even nonprofits have to make, generate, collect in some shape, form, or fashion a dollar.
Oh, you talking about the biggest nonprofit in America, the NCAA?
Yeah, like you gotta collect something to make it happen.
How you nonprofit and you charge for tuition? I'm just saying.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to like spend some time.
You a 501c3?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to spend some time and
Generate billions.
yeah, but I mean, I know of, a 501c3 that doesn't necessarily generate billions, but in order for it to move, somebody got to pay some fees.
So are
A
you
dollar is.
are you alive because of grants, donations, fundraising?
Yeah,
There are other ways besides just going out here and making money that you can generate funds.
yeah,
And the hard part is for small businesses. We've already talked about access to capital. Access to capital runs in just more than one way than just applying for grants, getting donations, making money. You could also be under a program that funds you.
yeah,
There are programs that are set up to fund you. The issue is now we're in quarter number two, and the programs that were funding people at the end of Q4 2024 are no longer around.
right, right,
So where do they now get their funding from?
yeah.
How do I stay in business?
Well, I mean, that's just like with Health and Human Services, they just cut out how many millions in grants?
And
It was like one point. I might be saying this wrong. I believe, and I'm gonna look it up and correct myself. It was like 1.58 million.
and so where do those people who relied on that money, where are they supposed to get those funds from now? You cut out their access to capital.
And those are essentially that money goes towards state offices. So specifically ADH, Department of Health within whatever city or town you live in, Department of Health. And they said it was supposed to be cut towards really COVID funding, which, if you know,
It's still not over with.
is not. However, COVID funding falls under the branch of epidemiology.
Which tracks communicable
If
diseases.
you start putting pieces that falls under epidemiology, because a lot of times people are on a grant, right? The majority of the time, they're not on one specific grant.
And grants don't last forever.
They don't. They last for 5 years, 10 years, but they may be on this grant that's researching uh cancer in a certain area, right? This
Yes.
branch, this line that was specifically tracking COVID in this county, whatever. You can get that detail. But if you start to remove that, now you start to each piece you remove impacts person's paycheck, their salary.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it might be 30% here, 60% there. And if you just remove 60%, now they're only funded at 30% or 40%. So you have to find that 60% somewhere else, right?
Mhm.
So when you start to remove the COVID grants that fall under epidemiology, are the people that track STIs going to be impacted?
So you gotta explain to people what STIs are.
Sexually transmitted infections. We don't classify it as sexually transmitted diseases anymore because the majority of them are infections and can be cured with an antibiotic.
I appreciate you
Yes.
saying that. So we are sitting there talking about the business of health now. Everybody has to have money attached to them.
Yes.
Nobody's working for free, folks.
No.
Just because, you got that good state job, the good state job is tied to funding.
It is. It is.
And we are talking about funding has been cut off.
We were just talking about access to resources that start being cut in January. That's
Yeah.
in the private sector, right?
Yeah.
Pri-
State sector been fucked too.
State is public.
Been fucked too.
Yeah. So it's like it's hitting the sector. Private, low pocket, no business, public.
And I'm gonna
State run offices.
and I'm gonna remind you, I'm gonna rewind you back to when the Orange Tyrant was first in office, 2016. First thing the some bitch did was cut CDC. And by 2020, worldwide parasite had jumped in the goddamn United States and all over the world
Jump.
and put our asses on the fucking nose.
It jumped.
Jumped. Because guess what? It was around in 2019.
Oh yeah.
But it didn't get the worldwide attention until 2020. Nigga, some bitch had jumped. That's where it started. It started overseas first. Which means it jumped across.
It was mislabeled.
Yeah, but it jumped the whole
Yeah.
goddamn ocean.
It did. It flew over with somebody.
Got transported on the ship.
Either way, it traveled.
Yeah. So we're sitting up here telling people we are going into quarter two. What you think happening just to small businesses is happening to other programs. We are feeling the pinch of access and resources being pulled from us.
Yeah.
And what you think won't affect you, boo-boo. Gee, they said fuck around and find out.
I mean, honestly, if you think that millions being cut from HHS, right, isn't gonna affect you.
Health and Human Services.
Yes.
No,
you're fine because I go acronym city.
Mhm.
If you think it won't affect you, you have to think about how if they do those cuts, any type of communicable diseases, right, or track, but those cuts somehow impacts the workforce that's tracking that. Now who gonna tell who when that little Ray Ray out here hot, right?
You ain't got that pancake.
Right. And it's either antibiotic curable or not. Right. So it impacts you. But then you but listen, also, so you're looking at how it's gonna impact the spread of information, right? The flow of information and on how people are informed and it stunt research, right? Also, it could potentially impact the workforce. If they have to start laying people off, right? And when you cut millions It typically equates to like because you don't work for in kind, right? That's a line item. In kind means we doing this for free.
That means
Like,
you're volunteering.
yeah, you volunteering. Um, but now those people are gonna have to jump in the workforce pool, right? Now
Mm-hmm.
there might be an individual that's gonna out qualify you on a job that you're looking at, right?
Mm.
So it's just a lot. It's like a domino effect. Like nobody's safe. So this may make you decide to stay at your employment where you're at. You know you unhappy,
Yes,
but it's at least stable. Like you can say that you don't have to compete because competition pool is about to get real nasty.
let's think about this. We are complaining about an economy that's not going well. It's sputtering.
Yeah.
It's not thriving. It's just making its way along. And think if you put 35 or 40,000 people out of work, then they go file unemployment.
Child bye.
And guess what? The unemployment ain't gonna pay you nowhere near what you was making.
No, and they gonna stop when they get ready.
Exactly. So how do people who now are not making money in an economy that was already struggling buy things? Because we are business owners.
Yeah, yeah.
We're also in the workforce.
Mhm.
So we see this twofold.
Right,
How does your economy get better as you send people to the unemployment line?
right,
How does your health system get better if you aren't tracking who's sick,
right.
who's not doing well? How does your job get better if you laid off 25 or 3,500 people?
Yeah.
How does the workforce become more ingratiable? It may not be the right
I don't
word.
know if that's a word. I'm gonna have to Google that one.
How does your workforce accept the downturn of thousands of people getting sent home
Right.
with nothing to show for it?
And eggs is $50 a carton.
Man, eggs right
Just
now
left that
50
out.
cents a piece. I'm gonna tell you, fuck them chickens.
No, go buy a chicken.
Nah, because if I buy the
It's
chicken,
cheaper.
if I buy a chicken, I'm just gonna cut that bitch up and eat it.
It's
I'm not gonna
cheaper.
get no eggs out of it. But
Oh
Miss
gosh.
Parker, I
Yeah.
appreciate you. Oh man, as we talking about, and I honestly, I want y'all to understand this episode may be a little bit different because we're talking about the business of the health industry and the health of our businesses
Yeah.
and small business owners.
Yeah.
Y'all understand? Health is one way, but health is a two-way street.
Mm-hmm.
We'll catch y'all next
Mm-hmm.
time.